Howdy, friends. Steve DePoe with the Rose Realty team with this week's real estate vlog from North Texas. Before we get started, we ask you to go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Let's Do Real Estate Texas. There's no charge, but you will be alerted to updates and changes to our series Spotlight on Community, Focus on Small Business, and of course, our weekly real estate updates on North Texas. Thank you. Let's get started. Today's topic, 4.5 tips for first-time investors. Neat topic. We've been through this ourselves, and a lot of these are very true. So first of all, property type and location. So you're talking about a standalone house, you're talking about a condo or a townhouse or a co-op, or you're talking about a commercial property, okay? Or you're talking about something that you think is gonna appreciate, like a piece of land, as an example. You've got to understand the pros and cons of the building regulations and the HOA or the association restrictions that might be there. So in some cases, some say, hey, you can't rent to somebody for less than 12 months, or you can't rent to somebody. If you thought you were thinking about it like an Airbnb type of thing, you can't rent for somebody week to week. Those kinds of things. Okay, so you got to understand what the pros and cons of the building and the organization's building regulations and codes and restrictions are, so that you don't think you're going in with a Airbnb and you can't rent week to week, and then that means you're up the creek without a paddle, right? Understand the financing. Predictable expenses are real important in these cases. So fixed rate mortgages or fixed rate loans are really prized over adjustable rate or interest only type of rate, okay? And that's because, again, predictable expenses are important, so that you know that when I've got it occupied at such and such a rate per month, that here's how much I stand to gain or lose, on a monthly basis. Because you don't want to be up one month, a whole bunch of money, and then down the next month a whole bunch of money because something changed. So financing and predictable expenses are important. What type of investment are you looking for? Are you looking for something that's 1, 3, or 5 years? So you kind of want to go in it, make a killing, and get out? Or are you looking for something long-term, like something with like passive income? So for an example, the investment properties that we own, that Rose and I own, we're more a long-term type of investors, right? And we have income, passive income coming in off of these investments, okay, on a monthly basis. And so that's where we want to be, and we're good with that. But you may say, hey, I want to buy this house because it's next to this other development that's going in, and those are $1 million houses, and that's going to drive up the value of mine. And so after 3 years, I'm going to get out because I'm going to double my money. Something along those lines, right? And so you've got to understand what type of investment you're looking for, write it down, figure it out, put together the plan, and understand whether you're a short-term investor, 1, 3, or 5 years, or more of a long-term investor looking for passive income. Find a mentor, okay? Find somebody who has done this before, who can, who you trust and who you like, who, can give you advice in this particular area. Now, we've done it, Rose and I have done it as investors. Like I said, we still do, but I wouldn't consider us mentor types, because we can answer a lot of questions, but we're not experts by any in real estate investing by any stretch of the imagination. So find a coach. We can probably help you find a coach if you're looking for one. We have a couple of coaches ourselves that we listen to for real estate investment. But find a mentor, find a coach, somebody can walk you through and maybe answer some questions that you have along the way. And maybe you owe them dinner out, or something like that, right? Don't be afraid to reinvent yourself, okay? So we talked on the second slide about what kind of investor you are, 1, 3, 5 years, long-term, et cetera. What we have found throughout this last year is how things change like dramatically and quickly. Okay. So you may be thinking that, well, geez, what I want to do is I want to do that quick hill. I want to buy something that's going to go, it's going to appreciate 50% in the next 2 years or 3 years, and then I'm going to be out. But what's happened in the last year is with forbearance and potential foreclosures and those kinds of things, you may want to kind of reconsider and say, well, geez, I can pick up some from properties, some kind of on the cheaper side. And now what I want to do is pick those up and hold them long term, because there's nothing wrong with these properties. We just need a rentor. We just need a tenant, and I'll go out and find a tenant who'll stay in there for a year or two or something like that, and I'll have some passive income long term instead of that quick killing. So things change. Don't be afraid to roll with the punches, and figure it all out. That's what that method is for in the previous slide. So don't be afraid to reinvent yourself and prepare to reinvent yourself, along the way. Hope that helped. Coming next week, ways to save money while renting. Now, what are you going to do with that money that you saved when you're renting? You're going to save it and you're going to put it in an account so you can buy your first home. This is Steve DePoe with the Rose Realty team. I'm going to bounce.